Hi, I'm Ant Buckner, Head of Data Center and Cloud for Autodata. And firstly, I'd like to thank you for signing up to our Cloud Lake storage service powered by Wasabi. Today, I will take you through initial setup of the Wasabi account, a general overview of the console, and discuss some basic first use hazards to avoid. Please be aware you can reach out to our service desk for support at any time, whether on trial or using a paid service. So please speak to us for assistance if required. I won't on this briefing explain the specific setup of the application you intend to use with the service, be that for backup, video storage, archive, scale out storage, etc. But guides will be included in your initial onboarding message, which will be sent directly to you. So from here, let's get started. A username using the root account email provided by you will be used for initial login, and the password will have been sent directly to you. On first use, please change this password to something secure. Once you have completed this, you should arrive at the page on the screen. If you're on trial, it may look slightly different, with a red banner on the top left corner, but all services and features will still be enabled. Simply, your times and the amount you can store will be limited. Looking at the console now, on the left-hand dark blue column, you will see the different sections you can access, and we will look at a number of these shortly. As you can see, the bucket section is highlighted in green. A bucket, in object storage parlance, is a repository. I will now take you through the quick steps to create a new bucket. As this is the first use of this account, you will see two blue banners enabling you to create a bucket centrally and in the top right. You can click either of these. Once you have a bucket attached to your account, the central button will no longer display, as you'll see shortly. So we click on the Create Bucket. We now need to give our bucket a name. This name needs to be unique, at least 3 characters long, lowercase, valid DNS name. I will choose Cloud Lake-Wasabi for this purpose. We then need to choose a region. You're free to choose any of Wasabi's regions. This only applies to this specific bucket. So if you have offices in the UK and US, for example, you can create 2 different buckets in 2 different regions and retain your data locally within region. Or you may want to back up your data to 2 different DCs. Both are possible here. For the purpose of this briefing, and the fact I am based in the UK, I will choose the UK London data center. And here lies the first of the gotchas. We've had more calls on this than anything else, and it's simply the Create Bucket button is to the left and more prominent than the next button. If you want to set up a mutability on your bucket, depending on the application, you may need to adjust further settings at this stage. A mutability, if you are not aware, is the ability to lock down your data for a predetermined period of time, preventing that data from being deleted, overwritten, or in any way modified. Ultimately, if you are looking to protect your data from ransomware, this is a feature that if your application supports it, I would advise you to enable. My advice and best practice is to always click Next here in case you wish to enable the following features. Within this tab, we have the ability to enable versioning, logging, and object locking. Object locking is a mutability in its true sense. Again, depending on the application you are using, it may require you to configure this page differently, so please refer to the specific guide. Please note that you cannot select these options after the bucket has been created. For example, if you're using the service for backup, assuming it is compatible and didn't configure the correct options at this point, and then decide you would like your backups to be immutable, you would need to create a wholly new bucket for this purpose. For now, I will select versioning and locking. We'll now click on Next. It will give us a summary of the details, and we can now click on Create Bucket. And that's it. We get named Cloud Lake-Wasabi and can immediately start sending our data to it. It's that quick and easy. Moving on to the next option on the dark blue column on the left-hand side, we will select Bucket Replication. As you can see, this will open up a new page. Bucket replication is a fairly new feature utilizing Wasabi Sync Manager that enables you to automatically replicate other storage repositories you may be using. This is especially useful when you are migrating data over to Wasabi, for example. If you have a large amount of data to migrate, Wasabi can actually provide this transition as a white glove service whereby they will reduce your egress fees from Azure or AWS by 50%. Now, if this is a service you may be interested in, please let us know and we will be able to provide you more details. The other main use for Wasabi Sync Manager we have seen is geo-redundancy. So from one Wasabi DC to another Wasabi DC where you wish to protect from a physical failure of the DC itself, and from data protection. For example, if you had a ransomware attack that encrypted your entire estate and the only data you had left was the backup stored in Wasabi, you could replicate that and ensure you have 2 copies. One to work on to recover your organization, and a second point in time copy from the moment of attack. Unfortunately, this is a use case we've seen more than once, but if needed, it is a comforting solution at a time you need it the most. I'll shut down that page. The next section I'd like to look at is access keys. For most uses, you will need both a key and a secret key. The secret key you will only get at the point of creation, and equally you'll only have visibility of it then as well. So it's important to follow the next steps. Delete the key that has been auto-created by Wasabi. On the top right, select Create New Access Key. We don't have any specific users set up, so this will be a root key. Copy down both of these keys. We would strongly advise you to keep a copy of these offline as well as any key management software. If you lose your keys, neither Autodata or Wasabi can recreate them, and they are required to decrypt your data from the AES-256 encryption they are stored in. Simply put, if you have a critical data event, as long as your data is encrypted and preferably immutable also, as long as you have those keys, you can always recover your data. So there we have the new key to use with whichever application we wish to connect to it. Next down, we have groups, roles, and users. I won't go into this on the briefing as it's self-explanatory, but essentially it is worth creating individual user accounts for anyone who may need to interact with the Wasabi platform. You're able to limit what buckets they can see and access, whether a user can create buckets, etc. For now, we'll select settings. As you can see, there are a number of settings that can be adjusted here, but the one I'd like to draw attention to is MFA settings. From within here, you are able to set up MFA to give a further level of account protection, and we would strongly advise you do so. And lastly, we'll select speed test. You will need to cut and paste the password into the box below. Then select submit. You can choose which host you would like to test against. Please bear in mind that this will be from the computer you're using to run the test. So to test from the application server, which you're looking to link with Wasabi, please log into the console from a browser on that server and run the speed test from there. Again, as I'm based in the UK, I will choose London. As you can see, I'm still over 70 miles away from that location. Once you put that in, click on go, and then we'll let it run. And that's completed. As you can see, I'm getting just under 900 megasecond. My max connection is actually 900 megasecond, so it's essentially maxing out my connection. If you were in a geography where you could use multiple different DCs, or if an additional DC comes to your area and you wish to test the performance to decide where you would like your data to reside, this is always a good place to start. And that's it. We hope you're happy with Cloud Lake, powered by Wasabi. Again, if you need any assistance or if we can help at all further with your specific use case, please let us know and we'd be happy to help. Thanks again, and goodbye.